If you've watched this channel over the last few years, you've joined me in witnessing some interesting shark behaviors. In this view from above, we've witnessed some behaviors that tell us just a bit more about the secret lives of great white sharks. It is a story about when there are no humans around. This means of observation from the air does open up more questions about the unique behaviors of these often misrepresented creatures. The following is a collection of these behaviors, some of which have no explanation. The more observations conducted of white sharks, the more it is apparent they frequently use the dorsal fin for much more than stability. But do they use it for play, much like dolphins do? Maybe, just maybe. Take a look at this. It is one of the most unique instances of dorsal fin movement I've ever witnessed. Notice how the shark bats at the object. It appears to do it with purpose. The way sharks interact with various objects is always intriguing. Whether they investigate with their nose, their mouth, or dorsal fin, it's clear the sharks use all of them to learn about their surroundings. Notice how this shark's eyes roll back just before touching the object. More on that later. Possibly the most interesting object I find sharks investigating is floating kelp. I've noted that sharks will use their dorsal fin in favor of their nose or mouth when investigating kelp. Why do they do this? It's certainly a different side of sharks we don't often see on TV. It's not dramatic, it's merely nature. But there's more. Some sharks, after investigating the kelp, will turn back around and try to bite it. Whatever information the shark gathered from the first pass motivated an attempt with its mouth. It bites the kelp in half. There's really no way to know what triggered this behavior. Why would this shark, for example, take a bite out of a piece of floating kelp? My experience observing sharks leads me to believe this particular piece of kelp from underneath may look like a floating ray. Then there are instances like this, a spectacular bite on a piece of kelp. Or this one. Why do sharks continue to do this? They are inquisitive creatures that obviously share a curiosity with the environment around them. It's clear they use their dorsal fins for a reason. Generally speaking, the dorsal fin helps to maintain an upright position in the water, preventing rolling and ensuring efficient movement. It plays a crucial role in the shark's hydrodynamics, allowing for better control and agility during swimming. But as you can see, there are other reasons we've yet to learn about. One thing is obvious though. More and more trash in the ocean means curious white sharks are engaging with it frequently. Every day I find scenes like this. All of these behaviors have one thing in common. They demonstrate that there is much to learn about white sharks and, more importantly, our role in keeping the oceans clean. If you've been a subscriber to this channel, you've likely seen the following clips before. I've searched for answers explaining this strange gill-shaking behavior, but I really can't find any. But I was able to discern that there are two different types of gill movements demonstrated here. Watch this shark's mouth closely. There is movement, a shaking and a wiggling movement where the sharks seem to visibly expel white material out of their gills. Watch closely. Here's another instance. Again, note that there is white matter coming out. And then there is this movement, a completely different type of gill movement. The shark's gills flare, followed by a dive. This flaring behavior is often side to side, and almost every time they do this, they dive. But as I combed through footage, a trend became noticeable. In almost every instance that this particular flaring behavior occurs, either another shark or another fish is nearby. This flaring behavior may be a body language display warning other sharks or fish to essentially back off. It's akin to a cat making itself appear larger when it feels threatened. There is precedence for this behavior observed by divers and researchers in the past. I am led to believe that this is indeed what is happening here. While sometimes you can't see the other shark, the one that instigated this behavior, there are times when I lift the camera up after the dive that it becomes apparent another shark is nearby. In this example, the other shark is not visible, but the vortex trail it leaves is clearly present, proving this shark reacted to a second shark. Here is another example, this time with fish. In this example, some California yellowtail appeared to be pestering the young shark. As I followed the shark, it flared toward the yellowtail below. It is very likely that this behavior is indeed a body language movement telling those around the shark to essentially back off. As I observed the fish pestering the shark, it was evident the shark was indeed annoyed. A big part of filming sharks from above is recognizing when sharks are making subtle movements that are not of the norm, movements that could hint at unique behaviors. From a distance, you can see this shark briefly flare its gills. It's quick, but you can see it. The shark is moving a bit differently. This is a prime candidate to focus on. As I follow the shark, you can see its white underside. Then it did something I've never witnessed before. Notice the eyes. They turn white. Look closely and you can see the white dot of the eye socket. The shark is rolling its eyes back. It's a behavior normally reserved for predation attempts or investigative movements. Because white sharks lack a nictitating membrane, they roll their eyes back for protection. However, there is no object to protect from here. The shark is simply rolling its eyes back. It's unlike any behavior I've ever seen. When the shark surfaces, the eyes rolling back are easily visible. Could this shark be sleeping? Is it a reaction to something in the water? What could possibly be going on here? Whatever it is yet another unexplained behavior we've witnessed from above. What do you think this shark is doing? Let me know in the comments below. Regardless of what it is, it's yet another example of the importance of observing without interfering.